Good evening, everyone. We are actually not going to call the meeting to order at this time yet, but I would like you to turn your phones and cell phones and any other electronic device to off or vibrate. And at this time, I'm going to call an open public hearing at 5:33. Do I have a motion to open the hearing, please?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, this public hearing is about the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program. So if anybody is here in question of the block program, we can try to answer your questions, but this is basically to see if you have any questions concerning the block program. You want to open that up as far as what it's entailed and what's included?
The program is, we're trying to receive a grant from the Community Development Block Fund and for basically our roadways to try and improve our streets. The grant will be $275,000. And we would get a grant administrator to administer this grant, which will be approximately $30,000, but it's going to come out of the grant funds, not particularly, we don't have to pay them up front. If we don't get the grant, then they don't get paid. So basically that's kind of why we're having this hearing, to ask questions. Now, I know there's some things we need to do. I need to get people to, we have an attendance list that I'm going to pass around. And if I can get y'all to write your name, address, and telephone number. And the girls are busy working on a community needs assessment. And it's just a checklist of things we might need, from water system improvements, sewer system improvements, housing, road street improvements, handicap accessibility, drainage, fire protection, community social service centers, demolition clearance, solid waste disposal landfills. So I'll pass this around, this attendance sheet. And there'll be making copies of this that we can pass around. You don't necessarily have to put your name, but you can fill out the checklist and turn them back in, and it gives the people that administer the grant or the people that give the grant an idea of what our citizens think we need. So that's what this checklist is for. As soon as they get back, our printer broke down. Or it got jammed is what happened. You read that part, didn't you? You read that, didn't you? We got this packet, so this is my first time doing it, so. And that's about you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Corey.
I think that's it. That's all our requirements. So, as soon as we get that, these questionnaires passed out, and I think we're good after that. Is there any questions? Like, where are we going to start, or?
Yeah, where you want to start?
Well, we've gone through and graded our roads from basically 1 to 10, and say like 2nd Street would be a 0, or 2, something really low. But most everything we have is like a 4 or 5, all throughout the city, other than some of the newer roads we have. So, we'll start with the worst and work our way to the top. So
So in what area is the old Ballinger in?
Well, some of those don't even have paved roads, so we need to determine if we need to pave them, or if we're going to, in fact, just keep them cleachy dirt roads. Our main area is gonna be on the Second Street, working our way over. And, now there's some of the side streets that we really need to address as well. Some of those are pretty rough.
When
So,
you say way over, is it way over there this way or way over there this way or?
From second.
from
Second
this way?
Street over,
Well, like second, third, fourth.
But you know
Right,
where it ends right there, we have to where it ends this way
Second Street.
yeah, Second Street to Broadway,
to Broadway.
north end of town. Like I say, some of the roads in the south part they're dirt anyway, so, it'll mostly be, until we can get some of the other roads, that have severe potholes fixed, then we can move down there. Because we can work on those down there and smooth them over, put some new cleachy down, and it's like a new county road, basically. So, but,
Will this be in addition to the regular street program?
yes.
Have you now done how many streets this may do?
Estimating between 30 and 36
Is that
roads, blocks. If we estimate, say $7,600 a block, roughly, 7,500. And, so,
Is that essentially going to be tearing them up, redoing the base work and stuff on?
it depends on the base. Some of the base is going to be worse than others, so we may have to go all the way down. We may be able to revitalize that base or add a little to it and just cover it. So it's going to kind of depend on what we get into once we start taking it up.
Are most of the streets going to be focused on where the utilities have already been replaced?
Not necessarily. If we pave a road and atmosphere has to come in behind us, then they have to fix it the way it was when they got there. So I'm not concerned. I'm not going to be scared of getting in their way. They can fix them. So,
For the most part, that most is boring.
right, and,
Their
yeah,
replacement times that they're doing right now. And that's almost from Broadway, boring all the way back down to Second Street.
right.
Under the existing structure.
Most of the streets in that area we talked about, have had the water lines replaced recently.
No, not a lot of them in that area. There's, I have a map up here actually. What we did, we took the water lines where we have poly, and then everything else, which will include PVC, the concrete type pipe, and the metal, the iron pipe. And there's a stark difference between the blue and the red if you look at the map as a whole. And we'll see it up here shortly under my report. So.
But Tommy, at the same time, would you not ignore South Ballinger?
I will not ignore South Ballinger.
At least maintain the streets or whatever.
Well, we're starting there with the street signs, which was,
Well, I mean,
you know,
road surface.
right, yeah, no. Are there any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How far are y'all along on the street sign? You mentioned that you had got the aluminum and everything to redo the signs. How's that going along?
We've had some delivered to us. We've set some poles in the south of town. we're trying to figure out where to get all our hardware. Uh, So once we get the hardware in, we'll start putting poles up in the south and start working our way up north.
Okay.
Uh,
Looks like a whole bunch of street signs have been replaced up here.
Some of them are just, we found them. Kids will take them and the police will run across them, you know. Maybe they blew off in the wind and, you know, so some of them we just found and we're trying to put them back up. But, well, I've got a gentleman who's gonna be working, just taking we're getting a map together to see what we're lacking all over town. So we'll be able to look at a map and say, okay, you know, we need 15 street signs down 9th, you know, and, because it'll be a little, arduous, you know, to get somebody to go just take the street signs. So I got him part-time just looking, you know, trying to map the street signs. Everybody here.
All the things that
So how anti-theft for your new street sign is gonna be?
Same as, the other ones.
Same as any?
Yeah.
Yeah. About your phone.
What is the time frame on the grant? You know,
Our deadline is February 5th or February the 9th. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I just know we have a deadline to get everything turned in by. And then, I don't even know if we'll get it.
award,
We have to turn our submission in.
when is it awarded?
I do not know right offhand.
We got a new sheet over here, Rick, sorry.
what is it now? Jason, can you pass it back?
Okay.
Who gets these?
Go back to, Debbie. Anything else? I think we're pretty much done with the questionnaires and the list.
Everybody turn theirs in? All right.
I'll get some.
You got one question for you,
They can be turned into that.
Yes.
Keep trying to do it. Watch it turn in.
When you're ready.
When you said that $7,500 per block approximately, that's one side of the block or is that all 4 streets around the block?
It's a 300-foot section, which makes up one
One straight pass.
one straight pass.
How many do you think that they'll be able to, somewhere in that grant, be able to get that machine, actually choose the asphalt up to where you could add some to it and reuse it? So you can recycle it?
The grant won't pay for equipment. It'll pay for either a subcontractor or if we do it ourselves, then the materials.
Okay. That'd be a real good
It would be a nice
Good.
asset.
recoup your
Yeah.
your materials. How many we used to have one of those machines?
Did we?
Used to have one, goes on the front end of the loader. Everybody turned in? All right, this is towards the end of the hearing. It says we've given you quite a bit of information in a shorter period of time. If you have any questions about the program, we'd be glad to answer any general questions. Or if you have questions or comments regarding projects that you are here to speak in favor of, then now is the time to do so. We think the best way would be to recognize each individual who wishes to speak separately and give each person a reasonable amount of time to speak. So at this time, if you would please stand, identify yourself, and make your comments if you have.
My name's Landy Kaysen, and I'd like to thank y'all for patching the sidewalks over there on 8th Street, coming up 8th Street. It's not near the tripping hazard that it was. Of course, you had to have an off-road vehicle to get off down some of them. Kind of in front of Bob's place down there, it got kind of rough. But we thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm Stella Gonzalez, and I would like to also thank y'all, because I rode around some other areas. Oh my gosh, there's pretty bad areas out there, worse than the paved, that you're talking about, the Caliche Road. Mhm.
Right.
So, thank you for that.
Mhm.
I was able to get out and,
Good.
so that was good. Thank you.
Landy is pretty proud of my patch job. Think you did pretty good, Bob. I need you to put some bicycle parking stripes down. My dog footprints. But he left them alone, believe it or not. Yeah.
Is that it? All right, with no further comments or questions regarding the program, the public hearing is now closed. Thank you for your attendance. Motion to close public hearing at 5:53, please.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. All right.
That means we get to go home now. Bye, y'all.
Yep. Anybody that wants to boogie out, you may boogie out.
I guess I'm the public.